The problem with gray morality. For those of you who don't know what gray morality is, it is the belief that neither side is good or evil. It is a belief that a neutral stance can be taken to everything, and it is often the preferred method of answering a problem. However, this seems to be confused with the shifting moral compass and the ability to adapt. I remember when I used to go to this Christian class that my family pressured me into when I was a kid. Back when I was 13, the teacher there would discuss some concepts about the Bible and address how we should act if we were going to be quote unquote good Christians. I was always the kid that never bought what the teacher was trying to sell me because I'm not Christian. One day, she brought up a scenario about a couple that were starving. They needed food or they would die. Next to where they were staying was an apple farmer that was experiencing a surplus. All the couple needed was 2 apples, and they could eventually get food of their own and live happily. However, the farmer refused to give them any. She asked the class about whether or not it was moral to steal the apples. The teacher insisted the morally righteous path was to not steal the apples under any circumstance. She claimed that even if the farmer did not need the 2 apples, and it would save lives, that it was still a sin to steal, even if it meant saving their lives. Of course, I asserted the opposite view. I said that I would steal the apples if I were the couple, that it was the right thing for them to do. But she quoted a Bible verse that said, you can either be hot or cold. She said that stealing is either a sin or it isn't. I didn't know at the time due to my age. That was my first introduction to the idea of gray morality. Was it truly gray morality for the couple to steal to save their lives if they believed that stealing was indeed a sin? Quick answer, I don't believe so. You see, the problem with gray morality is the idea that there is always a neutral answer, somewhere in the middle, that there is neither a right or a wrong. However, this doesn't take into account how situations change, and what can be observed as evil or good changes too. It goes off the idea that morality is subjective and therefore cannot be determined as objectively right or wrong. However, can we truly believe that morality is indeed subjective, with laws and religious dogmas put in place? There are often clear moral guidelines for people to follow. We can say that taking a life in cold blood is indeed immoral. Barely anyone would argue that. And whoever would is either the biggest edgelord on planet Earth or a true psychopath. However, murder in self-defense is often looked as morally justifiable. There are very few people who will argue against taking the life of someone who actively threatens yours. Using this logic, let's analyze the situation through the view of someone using gray morality and the view of someone whose moral compass shifts depending on the situation. Someone who believes in gray morality will simply say that while the farmer is being immoral by withholding the fruit from the dying couple would be immoral in stealing from the farmer. Thus, there is both good and evil in that situation. However, someone who thinks that their moral compass shifts would easily come to the conclusion that the farmer is immoral when he does not give the couple 2 apples out of his surplus, since he does not gain from the 2 apples anyway. Here, the farmer does not commit any good act. He only shows greed. The couple, on the other hand, would be stealing out of pure necessity to save their own lives. If someone can determine homicide to save one's own life to be justifiable, then stealing to save one's own life can be justifiable in certain situations as well. Supporters of gray morality may try to point out that attempting to shift one's moral compass means morality is truly subjective and that there is no objective right or wrong, or good or evil. However, they fail to acknowledge that the way in which we judge standards and the situations are objective, but how they apply to the situation is subjective. For instance, let's say a girlfriend cheats on her boyfriend. The girlfriend threatens to hurt herself if the guy leaves. However, the guy doesn't want anything to do with her and leaves her anyway. Now, through the lens of gray morality, both are evil, with the girlfriend cheating and the boyfriend enabling the girlfriend to harm herself. However, this is ludicrous, as it is clear that the boyfriend is more right than the girlfriend, and he just wants to preserve his own well-being. Thus, we say that what he did was moral. There is always an objective right answer. People with gray morality discourage critical thinking and discourage active judgment, which leads to complacency and intellectual laziness. These are the greatest problems with gray morality.